Hello everyone, so welcome you back to Ashok Tutorials. Since I have started a revision class C, now we are just left with one more day, right? So one more day is there, that is tomorrow, and after that from the 1st of December, on the 1st of December you have your MTET examination, right? So this is one topic which I find very important with respect to your MTET exam. So this is based on the learning disabilities of child development and pedagogy subject, right? So this is applicable to both the papers, paper 1 and paper 2, right? So here what I want to teach you is that uh, there are multiple choice questions which will be asked based on learning disabilities and the types of learning disabilities, like what are the symptoms and all those. So what you will do is that you should remember first of all the number. They will give you in multiple choice question. What do they did last time was that they were asking like learning disabilities can be categorized or can be of different types. So it can be how many types? 21 type, 22 type, 23 type, 24 type. So you have to remember this number 21, which is very important. All right, this 21 number you should remember, which means learning disabilities are of 21 types, right? So of course it is not possible in this short span of time to complete all the 21 diseases, so I'm just going to complete, or I'm just going to talk about a couple of them. So let us see. First of all, what we have: dyslexia we have first. So what is dyslexia now? So let us see the definition: difficulty with reading, spelling and writing despite having average to above average intelligence. A student might struggle to decode words, leading to challenges in understanding written texts. See, this dyslexia is a very important, very important disease which you as teachers should know, because in our classrooms we have students who have dyslexia, which means they have the problem in spellings, then they have the problem in reading, they have the problem in writing, they have the problem in comprehending what the teacher is trying to say. So basically what happens is that they struggle with the words, right? They have challenges. So I believe that you have already watched the movie Tare Zameen Par. So in the movie Tare Zameen Par, you have seen Ishan, right? That small child. So that child is, was suffering from the disease called dyslexia. So in dyslexia, when somebody is suffering from dyslexia, what happens? Learning disability. He or she may have difficulty in recognizing the words or letters. So they will write B as D, they will write 6 as 9, right? They will write S like in a upside down position. So this way, and you can see that in movie it was depicted like the letters are dancing for them, right? So they have difficulty in understanding that. So let us talk about another type of disease, that is dyscalculia. What is that? Dyscalculia. So dyscalculia, by the word itself you understand what does it involve. It involves the ability of calculation. What ability? Calculation ability. So let us see. Difficulty with mathematical concept and calculation. See, exactly. A person might find it challenging to understand basic arithmetic or struggle with tasks involving numbers. So now those children who are having the type of learning difficulty called dyscalculia, they might have problem in calculation. They may be not be able to understand the basics of mathematics or arithmetic. See, now many of us, what do we think? That we are not good at maths, and it does not mean that we have the learning difficulty called dyscalculia. Most of the time what happens is that because we are lazy, we do not do it. But it does not mean that we are suffering from dyscalculia. But of course there are certain students in our class who are suffering from dyscalculia, and whenever somebody is suffering from dyscalculia, they have problem regarding their calculation, they have problem with logical understanding, they have problem with numbers. So they are not able to do basic of multiplication, addition, subtractions, division, so they have, they struggle with it, right? So always remember the word dyscalculia. Calculia means calculation, calculation means mathematics, right? Now next which we have is dysphasia. What is dysphasia? Difficulty in understanding and using language. A person might have trouble expressing thoughts coherently or comprehending spoken or written language. Now this is a condition, or this is a problem in which the learner is not able to understand the language. See, in a classroom, if we are not able to understand the language, what are we going to understand? Nothing we will understand, right? So first of all, we should be able to understand the language. Well, language understanding means what? We come from Hindi medium school, we come from English medium school, so accordingly we should know what type of language we are being taught with. So accordingly we should be able to understand that language, and it is our inability to comprehend the language. We might have trouble in understanding that particular language, and does not only mean understanding the language. The child may also have problem in expressing himself or herself. The child might want to convey something, the child might want to express his or her emotions or feelings, but due to these conditions they are not able to express themselves well. Now dyspraxia. Let us see what is dyspraxia. Difficulty with fine or gross motor skills and coordination. Example tasks like tying a shoelace or using utensils might be challenging for someone with dyspraxia. Now, what is dyspraxia? Dyspraxia means difficulty with fine and gross motor skills and coordination. Now, what do you understand by fine and gross motor skills? See, whenever we are writing something, we use our fine motor skill. Fine means what? Fine means small, right? Small muscles. So when we are writing something, we are using our hands, our fingers we are using. And what type of muscles are there in our fingers and in our hand? We have small types of muscles, right? We are using while we are writing. But when we are running a race, when we are riding a bicycle, when we are swimming, the type of muscles we are using are gross muscles, all right? So those who have problems in coordinating means what? Correlating with fine motor with the gross motor skills, they have the problem called dyspraxia. So those who are suffering from dyspraxia, they might not be able to tie their shoelace, they might not be able to make their neckties, they might not be able to write properly, right? And those having dyspraxia with regarding with gross motor skills problem, they might not be able to play well, they might not be able to run well and all. Now let's see ADHD. What is ADHD? ADHD means attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Now as teachers, we all see students who have this disorder. What is this disorder now? So definition: difficulty with attention impulse control and hyperactivity. A student might struggle to focus on tasks, be impulsive, or have difficulty sitting still in class. Now, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is a type of disorder in which the child is not able to be attentive in the class. He or she is not attentive at all. Right? He or she is not able to sit at one place for a longer period of time, which means they are always moving, they are always shaking, they just want to move around, they just want to roam around in the classroom, they are disturbing one another, right? So they are, attention deficit means what? They are not able to attain, or they are not able to listen cautiously or silently. They just want to distract. They have lots of energy, right? And they are hyperactive. Hyperactive means too much active. In the classroom, we do not need students to be too hyperactive, because we want them to just sit and listen. But of course, it does not mean that we do not involve them. We are also involving them, but at the same time, we expect some kind of silence in the class and no distractions we expect from the students. So suppose in your class there is a child or two who are always on the move, who are always around the corner, who are just running about, So you can understand that this type of students might be having this disorder called attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. All right, so you should deal accordingly. Now autism, what is autism? Let's see. At a spectrum disorder affecting social interaction, communication, and behavior. Individuals with autism may have challenges with social cues or display repetitive behaviors. Now, autism is a condition. Autism is a condition or disorder in which the child is not able to express himself or herself, which means that they are antisocial type, which means they do not know how to socialize in the group, how to talk in the group, how to behave in the group, how to make friends, how to communicate, and how to behave according to the needs of the situations. They do not know. So they have challenges, social challenges. They like to be alone. They do not like to talk to others. They like to be silent. They just like to stay in one place. They are lethargic type of they have lethargic type of behavior, and they might display repetitive behavior, which means they might perform the same behavior repetitively, right? Again and again they might perform the same behavior, which means overall we can say that they become a very in slow motion. They are in slow motion, and they have difficulty in socializing with their peers, with the teachers, with their friends and family. Now cerebral palsy, let's see what is cerebral palsy. So a group of disorders affecting movement and posture caused by damage to the developing brain. A person with cerebral palsy might have difficulty with balance and coordination. A group of disorders affecting movement and posture caused by damage to the developing brain. Now, it sounds to be a little serious, right? So, cerebral palsy. What is cerebral? Cerebral is a part of our brain, right? We have, we know that our brain is divided basically into three types: forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain, right? Then again, forebrain have got different part, midbrain have got different part, hindbrain have got different parts, right? So there is a part in our brain which is called cerebral. So when cerebral part is affected, all right, so what happens as a result? What is the response? The response is there is problem in the movement and posture of the individual, right? The individuals, they do not know how to control his or her movement, how to have a correct posture. So they have difficulty in balancing themselves. They have difficulty in coordination. They are not able to coordinate. Their hand and legs might not be able to coordinate together. Suppose they are dancing, but they are not able to coordinate their hands and legs together. Suppose they are playing football, they are not able to coordinate their eyes and their legs together. So this kind of problem is called cerebral palsy, and it is caused due to the misbalanced or imbalanced or a type of damage where in the cerebral part of the brain, right? So this is called cerebral palsy. By the word itself you should try to remember this. So cerebral means related to brain, right? Now we are going to have what? Dysgraphia. See, graph means what? Graph means writing, right? Graph means what? Graph means writing. So let us see dysgraphia. See, my dear friends, you try to remember whenever you see the word graph that it is a type of condition or problem which has something to do with graph. Graph means what? Writing, right? Writing difficulty. Let's see. Difficulty with writing, including handwriting and expressing thoughts on paper. A student might struggle to write legibly or organize thoughts in a written format. Now, those who are suffering from this disorder called dysgraphia, their handwriting is very, 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 very bad. Very bad handwriting, very ugly handwriting, a haphazard handwriting they have, right? Then they are not able to put their words beautifully. They are not able to express themselves beautifully. They are not able to write what they want to write. They are not able to put their thoughts in paper. They are they have difficulty with the words, with the writing part of the learning. Now a student might struggle to write legibly. Now legibly means what? Suppose, of course we know some of us we have good handwriting, some of us we have bad handwriting, but that does not mean that all the people with bad handwriting they are suffering from dysgraphia. But then there are certain children who whose handwriting you cannot read at all. So I know now you might be, those who are already in service teachers, you might be imagining, right? You might be lost in imagination that, oh yes, in my class so and so child have a very bad handwriting which I find very difficult to read. So you may conclude that he or she might be having this problem called dysgraphia. So my dear friends, try to remember this a disorder, right? Now, last but not the least, we have hemophilia. Hemophilia. Now, a genetic disorder impairing the blood's ability to clot. Now, what is this? This is a genetic disorder. Genetic disorder means what? The disorder or the problem in the genes. Now, we all know that we are human beings and we are made out of genes and we are made out of DNAs, right? So, we are made out of nucleic acids. We are, you all have studied about basics of cells in class 9 and 10. So, you know that human beings are cells. They have nucleus, and in the nucleus we find what? We find the DNA, then we find the genes, then we find the chromosomes, right? So all these technical things we find in the human body's cells. Now what happens? Sometimes there are disorders, genetic disorder, right, impairing the blood's ability to clot. Now what is blood clotting? Blood clotting means, suppose you get hurt or your hand gets cut, so hardly it will take according to the deepness of the cut. Suppose you got a scratch and your finger starts bleeding, so after 4-5 minutes the blood will clot means the bleeding will stop, right? Even if you don't do anything, it will stop. But hemophilia is a condition in which the blood fails to clot, which means, see, suppose your blood, like usually our blood clots by 4 to 5 minutes, not 4 to 5 minutes, that's too much actually, so like 3 to 4 minutes it will take according to the seriousness of the wound, so it will clot. So if we are having difficulty in a clotting of blood, that condition is called as hemophilia. Individuals with hemophilia may experience prolonged bleeding even from minor injuries. So those who are having the disorder called hemophilia, they might have they may take longer time as compared to the normal ones in their clotting of their blood, which means their bleeding will not stop quickly. It will take some time, more than suppose I take 5 minutes for my bleeding to stop, the another one with hemophilia will take 10 minutes to stop the bleeding. But we all know that we human beings are made out of blood. For I think we have 5 liters of blood, approximately 5 liters of blood, and female they have 4.5 of liters of blood, right? So that much of blood is contained in our body. So we know that blood plays a very important role in the functioning of our body, which means blood is the one which carries the oxygen, the carbon dioxide, then the food materials, the food particles, the waste materials, everything is done by the blood. That's why it is very important for us to take care of our blood, so that we always try our best that whenever we get hurt or any accident, we meet any accident, the bleeding stops immediately, right? Because if excess of blood is lost, there might be a chance that the life of the individual might also be lost. So that's why hemophilia is a dangerous condition, right? Now each of these conditions varies widely in its manifest actions, and individuals may experience a combination of these challenges to different extents. It's important to note that people with learning disabilities can excel in various areas with the right support and accommodation. Yes. Now see, we as teachers, alright friends, this is for you. So we as teachers, we have discussed so many types of learning disabilities, but it does not mean that those children who are having this type of difficulties, disabilities like hemophilia or dysgraphia, cerebral palsy, autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, dyspraxia, dysphasia, dyscalculia, dyslexia. So we cannot conclude that these people cannot learn, these people cannot excel in life. We cannot just conclude this, because it all can be corrected by following a correct approach, right? So it is in your hand, it is in my hand to hold the hand of our children, of our students, and lead them to a brighter future. Don't just think like, oh, this person is having ADHD problem, so that's why this child is misbehaving. So we as teachers, we cannot ignore it. We have to accept it, and we, if possible, we should let the parents know. But if it is not possible, then we should understand by ourselves, and we should try to focus on those kind of children more. We should give them more importance, we should give them more time, and we should be more patient with them, right? So this is how we can bring change in this society. So we are teachers, so teachers means multi-talented. We are multi-talented, right? We are all multi-talented, so we are ready for every type of situation we have in our lives, right? We the society have a very 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 high expectations from teachers. So the parents, they send their children to the school, 6 hours 8 hours they are in school, so they are carefree, which means they believe that teachers will take care of them. So it is our responsibility, it is our duty to be very very cautious and very what to say, very cautious and very loving and caring towards our children. So we can always try to we should always try to improve our learners in spite of they having this kind of difficulties. So we should not believe, or we should not have the stereotypes that, oh yes, this person is suffering from this, which means this person cannot write nicely. This person is suffering from dyscalculia, which means he or she cannot do good in maths. It is not so. If you are able to change your attitude, if you are able to change your belief, definitely you will be able to change that student's life. So it is all in our hands. So with this, I would like to end up this video. So this was just a short revision video on learning disabilities. All right, so I wish you all the best and see you. Let me see what next topic I can have, so that I can help you with that in this revision video. All right, so thank you everyone for watching and being connected with Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first MTET channel. Thank you.